Hi, everyone. Welcome to our One World connection to the Zohar. This week's portion is the portion of Bo. In our edition of the Zohar, it is volume 9, and we're going to be at verse 178. And before we go there, as we always do, let's invite in the lineage of Kabbalists to assist us in unpacking and understanding what it is that we're studying. So let's begin by inviting in the Rav and Karen and Michael, Rav Shlag, Rav Brandwein, the Ria Kodesh, the Ramchal, Rabbi Tarfon, Rav Abba Mazulai, Rav Menachem Mendel of Vitebsk, Rav Kolonu Shapia Pia Setzna, the Baal Shem Tov, Rav Shimon Baruch Chai, and all the students, Rav Mordechai of Chernobyl, and Sol with Yosef Tzaddik, Joseph the Righteous in Shechem. Today also, it's the 23rd of January, but it's also the 5th of Aquarius, the 5th of Shvat. And it's also the anniversary of elevation of Rabbi Yehuda Aryeh Leib of Gur, the Sfat Emet. I actually did visit him on a trip to Poland and Ukraine years ago with my teacher Mordechai. Um, Anyhow, so we have his assistance today. Also, as we connect to these verses, let's have a consciousness of, through these letters, connecting to the upper realm, the realm of complete fulfillment. And let's begin by channeling the energy of healing into our world. For everyone we know who needs healing, just whoever you know who needs healing, let's just have them in mind. Mila Bat Chaya, Moshe Ben Chana, Albert Ben Imelda, Mel Bat Carmen, Dana Bat Vicky, Yisrael Zeb Ben Men Yerachel, Ariel Bet Rivka Tova, Meir Tzvi Ben Gittel, Nachman B'chaya, Rachel Machaya, Jeffrey Ben Firm, Marley Bat Shari, Shane Devor B'chaya Chana, Levi Ben Blumus, Rapel Ben Yitareza, Sarah Malka, Yisrael Ben Rivka, Musbat Margie, Chana Bat Rivka, Karen Bat Sari, Masanavan Bat Aviva, Ganesa Barachaldina, Kara Bat Susan, Julia Bat Young. Let's also send the energy to those souls that we know are in the first 12 months of their elevation, of leaving the physical realm. Yehuda Bat Abraham, who is a member of our community.
I just want to add, please, to put Marley Bat Sherry.
I have her. You didn't hear?
Oh, you did? I didn't hear.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yes, I do have her.
She
No,
had
no,
some
it's okay.
setbacks yesterday and last night, so let's keep.
Oh, really? Okay. Is she still in the hospital?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, thank you for that. Let's also connect to the energy of Ahavat Chinam, unconditional love, treating everyone in the world with human decency, ending the wars and conflicts in our world, the protection of all those innocents that are in harm's way, protection from evil eye and evil speech, and removing chaos and negativity from our world. Okay, this week's portion of Bo, you know the story, the children of Israel, meaning Jacob's children and grandchildren and great grandchildren. I mean, that's the children of Israel. Israel is Jacob. That's what his name was. Anyhow, they're in bondage in Egypt. And bondage in Egypt means, I mean, does it mean that they were stuck in Egypt? I mean, they were. But what's that have to do with us? Like, why are we always talking about it? See, endlessly talking about the Israelites in Egypt, blah, blah, blah. Why do we do that? It's not about that historical event. Bondage is our enslavement to physicality. Bondage in Egypt is our enslavement to the physicality of the physical realm, the 1%. This is significant for us because this is about our freedom. Freedom from ego, freedom from body consciousness, freedom from seeing a world of limitations, of scarcity, freedom from a view that there is no light because I don't see it. Freedom from all that. It's a broadening, an expansion, and of our consciousness, raising our consciousness to see beyond the physical world. That's the power of this week. That's the opportunity that we have today by connecting to these verses. There were 10 plagues corresponding to the 10 sfirot. So those plagues were foundational. It's not a matter about the hail that was on fire, which is pretty cool. It's not a matter of that. It's like these were the things that took place in the physical realm to open up to destroy the channels of negativity and open up the channels of positivity so that we could be free from this limiting consciousness. I know, but didn't the children of Israel really leave? Yeah, but that's not what it's about. The reason why it continues to be relevant is because it's always about what's the present moment relevance? Our freedom, our
Hey,
ability to see a deeper reality.
hey,
So with
David,
that, yes,
wait,
Peter.
real quick factoid that I heard from, I'm trying to remember, it was Michael Berger, or it might have been Karen, that I'd never heard, and I just think it's interesting. So that the 10th plague, which is the killing of the firstborn, 80% of all the Egyptians died, and 80% of all the Jews, firstborn died.
Children of Israel, they
Wow.
weren't technically Jewish.
Children of Israel, thank you. And I'd never heard that. And this is, to your point, what it really was, those that had no light in them, right? Those that were only for the desire to see for the self alone didn't survive. And those that had whatever word you want to choose, some tov, some good, survived.
Wow.
So to your point,
No,
you
Karen or
needed,
Michael's point.
well, to your point vis-a-vis their point, to participate in leaving Egypt, you had to have an enlightened consciousness. Otherwise, you were vulnerable. And most of the children of Israel did not leave. They did not leave. They didn't have an elevated consciousness. Well, what does that have to do with us? What reality are you buying into right now? A reality of the world is just a chaotic place? Because it looks that way. If you could see the deeper reality, it wouldn't look like chaos.
David, Karen's lecture that I listened to one this morning, presumably was, I'm going to guess, roughly 2015, and maybe it's 2016. And she was saying in the lecture, saying all the chaos that exists. And I'm thinking, you have no idea, right? What was happening then versus
Right,
now.
right. I mean, there have been other chaotic periods in history,
Mm-hmm.
but they don't feel like this one feels because we weren't there. We weren't there in the 30s and 40s. It was chaotic. We weren't there in the Civil War in North America. That was chaotic too. Like, there's plenty of chaos going all over the world for decades, but this is our chaos. So for us, it's more real. But it's still an illusion, that's the hardest thing to grasp. So another huge opportunity for us, to Peter's second point, is to rise above the chaos that is always going on. It doesn't look like chaos if we can see the deeper reality. Okay, verse 178, Ra'aya Mahamana. Vayisa'am et b'tseiko terem yechmatz v'gomer. Kafei pikudada. Liva'er chametz. Daha pikudada. It misar luhu Yisrael v'yisa'am et b'tseikio terem yechmatz. Uchativ seor lo yimatzeh bevatechem. V'ha ukmuha chavraya. V'raza okimna ben chametz umatzah dechama duchte da yetzira v'da yetzer tov.
The faithful shepherd. And the people took their dough before it was leavened.
Okay, so the faithful shepherd is the Zohar's nickname for Moses. Why faithful shepherd? He shepherded his flock through out of Egypt, through the desert, into the promised land. Who was his flock? The children of Israel. So he's known as the faithful shepherd. He never lost faith. He always knew what he was doing was the right thing to do, so much so that he got into major conflicts with the Creator. He was taken on, he didn't like what the Creator was doing. He let him know. He put his life on the line for the children of Israel, probably on more than one occasion. And so that's why he's known as the faithful shepherd. He had a level of certainty. So anytime we're connecting to Moses, I mean, let's face it, we're connecting to a level of certainty that we want to be at. So first opportunity for us right now is to just to a raising of our own consciousness to a higher degree of certainty in the face of all the uncertainty that we encounter. So we're in the story of leaving Egypt because that's the story, that's the energy of this week. So for us, it's an opportunity to leave our Egypts. What are our Egypts? Well, any place you feel like you're stuck in a dead end. It's feeling like you're stuck. That's what the energy is. They felt like they were stuck. There was a desert between Egypt and the Holy Land, and they didn't know what was in the Holy Land. It's not like they could fly a drone out there and take a look at it. They had no idea. And Egypt was the best place in the world to be at the time. They were the power. They had all the prosperity, physical prosperity. It's like, why would I leave that? Why would I give that up? Why would I move to a third world nation? You're kidding. Who's saying that? The Satan, the opponent, is telling you, don't change. You don't know what's outside. This may be bad, but it might be worse. That's the consciousness. And remember, for us, the light always has our back. The light, yes, the fear we have is that things may be worse. That's a very low consciousness. It's a very low consciousness. But it's what keeps us stuck. So for us, it's the opportunity here to connect to a world and a life with greater purpose and meaning and unlimitedness as opposed to limitedness, not the scarcity we cling to, but the abundance that's available. So, okay, great. What's it have to do with the dough? What's the big deal? What's the big deal? They took their dough before it was leavened. What is the deal between leavened and unleavened bread? Why we even deal of all things to focus on the bread? I get that bread is important. It's important nourishment. I get that. But why all this focus on it? So what are we talking about? We're talking about the difference between leavened and unleavened bread. Well, unleavened bread is what we know as matzah. It's like a cracker, a big cracker that didn't rise. And the leavened bread is bread that rises. So why make the distinction? Because we understand, because because our teachers tell us, and the Zohar tells us extensively, the difference between bread that rises and bread that doesn't is ego. And the opportunity that Passover presents to us, which we are marching towards now. I mean, it's like freezing cold outside. We were talking about before. Who's thinking about Passover? It's coming. It's not far away. It's around the corner. The difference between leavened and unleavened bread is that unleavened bread gives us the ability to crush our ego. Think about our ego as our overblown sense of self to the exclusion of the light of the Creator. That overblownness is the rising of bread. So we have a lot of restrictions around connecting to leavened bread during Passover because it's our opportunity to crush ego. That's what it is. And so for us, connecting to this section, anytime we're talking about the difference between leavened and unleavened bread, it's an opportunity for us to remove ego, to crush our ego, to move beyond the limitations of physicality, to move beyond this very limited, narrow 1% view of reality. Let's continue.
This 25th commandment is to remove the leaven.
Okay, so there are a bunch of commandments that are associated with this reading and the story of Passover. And the 25th, there's more that come, but in the Zohar, but the 25th is removing the leaven. Go ahead.
How many commandments are there about this?
Well, I mean, the next paragraph discusses 26 and then 27, and so I don't know. Then 28, not sure.
I can Google it. Okay, thank you.
Yeah, don't worry, Google it.
For this commandment was given over to Israel, and the people took up and carried their dough before it was leavened. And shall there be no leaven found in your houses.
Yeah, it's like such a stream. Why is there such a restriction? Because spiritually, leavened bread is a magnet for ego. All the time? No. You can have leavened bread tonight. We actually do have leavened bread tonight. It's a big deal. We never initiate bringing in a holiday without a meal, which includes wine and bread. I mean, it's literally, we use those physical tools to enhance the connection to the energy that's available during specific windows in time. Sabbath is one of the big ones. Wine and bread, challah, that's what we do. Because there's spiritual energy available, those two foods, if you will, unlock open gateways to enhancing the energy available to us on Shabbat, which is the energy of the Garden of Eden, literally. So, but not on Passover. No, not during those 7 days. During those 7 days, there's a commandment. You shall not have any leavened bread in your house. There should be no leavened bread found in your houses. Why? There's a joke, and well, whatever. Let's skip the joke.
Oh, let's hear it.
No, there's a joke about like the bakery that saw that all the kosher bakeries were closed, and so they figured they wouldn't be able to get challah. So like the unkosher bakeries would run challah specials during Passover, not knowing that not that it's just they're closed, is we don't eat bread.
Hilarious.
Anyhow, so yeah. So again, like really, we have to have these dietary restrictions. Food is one of the ways that we're able to internalize the light of the Creator. Yes, there's nourishment, but there's energy. It's not just nourishment, it's energy. And there's positive energy and there's negative energy. And during specific windows in time, that energy shifts. We don't want the energy of leavened bread during the 7 days of Passover, or 8 days, depending on your practice. We want the unleavened bread, which gives us the ability to crush our ego. The leavened bread will expand our ego in very more negative ways than the rest of the year. That's the spiritual truth. Eating bread during the year, no big deal. Eating bread during the days of Passover, big deal. And so that becomes a magnet for an acceptable level of ego energy. And that's why we restrict leavened bread during Passover. Well, okay, that's great, but what purpose does that serve other than negative energy? Well, the other purpose it serves is it positions us to open ourselves up, to raise our consciousness, to rise above the ego, the body consciousness. And it gives us that opportunity that we can carry for the rest of the year, till the next Passover. So it's that important that we're already preparing now. Let's continue.
By the way, right now, I kind of have a craving for the center's matzah. If no one's had it, it's great. Okay, the friends have already explained it, and we have explained the secret meaning of the difference between leavened and unleavened bread of the Exodus from Egypt in many places, that one is the evil inclination and the other is the good inclination.
Okay, and what does it mean by evil inclination, good inclination? Desire to receive for the self is my evil inclination. It's my negative inclination. It's receiving for me. It's like the two poles, like, in a light bulb, the electricity goes through the filament, but there's a pole that gives and a pole that receives. It's receiving. There's nothing bad. It's just negative. It's receiving. And to that degree, we label it bad. But we are wired for receiving. The only question is what we do with it. We want to be able to receive for the sake of sharing. That's why your soul came here. Your soul came here to grow in its ability to receive for the sake of sharing. Because when we receive for the sake of sharing, we transform ourselves. We open up more to our soul. We're using our soul's energy to assist us in transforming the world. into channeling more positive energy into the world, literally. So that's the additional opportunity we have here. That's what we mean by rising above ego, crushing ego. I'm crushing my desire to receive the self. Okay, what does that mean, desire to receive? Let's just talk practically. What does it mean, desire to receive the self? So what comes to mind is like recognition. I want people to see how good I am. That's desire to receive the self. That's not helping the world. It's my selfishness. Is there anything wrong with that? I mean, not necessarily. It's just not, you're not really helping the world. In that sense, it's wrong. But it's natural. It's human. It's the way we're wired when we're here. It's the physical aspect of who we are. Recognition for the things that I do, as opposed to doing things from an anonymous standpoint or doing things from the purpose of I don't want this to be about me. I want this to be about me being a channel for sharing. Well, I want everyone to know that I'm a channel for sharing. Well, that defeats the purpose. That again is recognition. I'm so hurt. They hurt me so much. Okay, like, again, it's like that's ego. I know we go through a lot of pain. There's no question. You're here, there's pain. But we want to look at that pain as growing. It's the pain of growth. It's never happening to us. I'm not a victim. Really, I mean, did you see what they did to me? What they said about me? And how painful that was? Yeah, I get all that. And I get it's painful, but I want to look at that pain as not happening to me. I want to look at that pain as happening for me. That everything is coming from the light, even the painful experiences that I have are assisting me in removing my negativity and in helping my vessel grow. And so I want to embrace the process from that perspective. Let's continue. We're verse 179.
79, you.
Okay. Kaf vav pikuda batarda l'saper bishvacha diyitzit Mitzrayim diyu chiyuva al barnash lishtae b'hai shvacha l'almin hachi okimna kol barnash dishtae b'yitziat Mitzrayim uvahu sipur chadei bechedva zamin ihu lemechadei b'shchinta l'alma deatehahu chedu mikola Dahai ihu barnash techade b'mare b'kuchabrichu chade behahu sipur.
The following 26th commandment is to relate the praise of the exodus from Egypt, which is incumbent upon every person always to relate these praises.
We talk about leaving Egypt, which is in the Hebrew and Aramaic is Yitziat Mitzrayim. We talk about this all the time. It's in our prayers every day, in our connections every day. Remember, you're leaving Egypt. We have a whole holiday about it, Passover. It's all about remembering leaving Egypt. We make such a big deal about it. It's our enslavement. I mean, people take it really, they go over the top with it. Yeah, we were slaves. A couple thousand years ago, it's not about the slavery. I mean, it is historically. It's not what it's about, though. What slavery represented for us, the reason why we had to go to Egypt to begin with, is to position us for emancipation. From Pharaoh? Yes and no. No. Yes, emancipation from Pharaoh, but Pharaoh just represented the desire to receive the self. He represented the snake, the Satan, the opponent. It was emancipation from physicality. That's what it's about. That's why the story remains relevant. That's why we discuss it every day. We're so wrapped up in our physical needs, in our physical consciousness, in our physical limitations, that it's difficult, if not, very hard to see beyond that. That's why we talk about this incessantly. That's why it is the directive that it is. This 26, we're saying commandment, but really it's a directive. It's a way for us to conduct our life, to remove negativity. Let's continue.
We have explained that every person who relates, the Exodus from Egypt and rejoices when relating that account is destined to rejoice with the Shekhinah in the world to come, which is joy from all sides.
So what's the payback for all this? Joy from all sides. Well, what does that mean? I read today there was a post from David Berg and his group. He said that, let's see if I can find it actually.
Something about joy, I think, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's
I
a,
thought
you know,
too.
a very insightful little post.
Joy is independent of what we experience on the day to day. The sooner we realize that, the happier we'll be.
The joy that we want to be connecting to is different than what we're going through day to day. We want to be joyful, even in the context of the chaos that we're experiencing. And so what is it about the telling of leaving Egypt? Well, every person who relates the Exodus from Egypt, talking about leaving Egypt, which we're doing right now, and rejoices in sharing it, we have overcome chaos. We have the capacity to overcome our chaos. Well, okay, great, is destined to rejoice with the Shekhinah in the world to come. Which is joy. What do you mean? Okay, so that means I'll have joy with the Shekhinah in the world to come? So that's some point in the future? No, it's not the world to come. It's the world that comes. It's the constant flow of the light and the energy of the Creator into our world. When we realize that everything is coming from the Creator, that's what we're talking about. That's the world to come. It's not the world that will come, Olam Sheyavo. It's the world that comes. It's Olam Haba. It's seeing the world as a constant flow of the light of the Creator. Some people may not see it for a while. That's why it's off in the distance. But we have the opportunity here to see it now, to see it in our lives, to see it in our world, to rise above the illusion of the chaos. And that's a tremendous opportunity we have. And when we can see it in that way, it frees us up to be joyful. If I know it's all going to work out, then why am I getting all stressed about it? Well, I mean, the situation. I mean, it's a terribly negative situation. I understand, but that's helping us. It's part of a bigger story. It's part of a bigger, grander perspective on our life. And when we can gain that kind of perspective, that's the basis for joy in the moment, in the present moment. Let's continue.
For such is a person who rejoices in his master, and the Holy One, blessed be he, rejoices in his stories.
His story, like history. His story, that's our story. Our story is beyond what goes on in the day to day. Our story is our soul's journey. And the challenges which we see as happening for us. That's the perspective we want to have. And in that way, rise above the day-to-day chaos that we're experiencing and connect to unlimited joy, continuous joy. We know it's going to get disturbed. I mean, things can happen. That's why we restrict our reactivity. When I restrict my reactivity, I'm able to maintain a connection to my joy. Hey, this happened. It's really terrible. Actually, I really don't know yet. I don't know. I know it's positive or negative from this perspective. I'm going to wait. Let me wait and see how it plays out. That's restriction. So again, major opportunity for us in gaining an enhanced perspective on life events before we classify them as good or bad. Verse 180. Be'shata kanish kucha brichu l'chol pamalya delay ve'amarlon zilu ushma'u sipura dish vacha dili deka mishta'u banai v'chadtan before kane Kedain kulu mitkanshin v'ityan umitchabrin b'hadayu d'Yisrael ushma'u sipura dishvacha dekach hadan b'chedva d'furkana d'mareon kedain atyan v'odan leilu kuchabrichu al kol inun nisin ugvuran v'odan le'al ama kadisha d'it le be'ara v'chadan b'chedva b'furkana d'mareon.
At that time, the Holy One, blessed be He, gathers His whole retinue, and says to them, "Go and listen to the account of my excellency, and that my children are relating. Rejoice in my redemption."
So who's the retinue? This would be the community, the children of Israel, those who have the enhanced consciousness. That is us. I mean, if you're here and you're on this path and you're on this journey, this is us. Go. So what's the message to us? Go and listen to the account of my excellency and that my children are relating. Rejoice in my redemption. This is the energy of redemption that's available to us, redeeming us from physicality. In other words, manifesting the best version of ourselves. That's what this is a tremendous opportunity for, both the holiday and right now in the present moment as we connect to this energy and connect to these verses. Let's continue.
At that time, they all gather and come and join with Israel to hear the story of praise. They rejoice with the joy of the deliverance by their master and come to thank and praise the Holy One, blessed be He, for all these miracles and mighty deeds, and thank Him for the holy nation that He has on earth that rejoices in the joy of the deliverance of their master.
I mean, this is a significant amount of positive energy in this section. We're focusing on all the light and joy that's available to us by aligning our consciousness with the light of the Creator. This is us growing closer to the Creator. And the closer we are, how do I get closer? By seeing the world as filling with the light of the Creator, constantly flowing into this world, a constant state of abundance. And the more I can do that, the more aligned I am with the light of the Creator. And when I'm aligned with the light of the Creator, I'm channeling that light. And that's the ability that we have to show up with a positive disposition. Channeling the light. When I'm positive, you hang out with somebody, there's negative people, there's positive people. People are positive, that's not their light. We say it is. It's the light of the Creator. They're literally channeling the light of the Creator. I mean, I want to be surrounded by those kind of people all the time. It's a much more joyful experience. I don't want to hold that light back for myself, and I want to be able to help other people to not hold that light back for themselves. But that is the challenge that we're confronted with in this world. And again, this is one of the tools, one of the major tools, one of the major opportunities we have for rising above all that and transforming our mindset in how we see the world. Verse 181. Kedain it tosaf le chela ugvortal ela. Yisrael bahu sipura b'havei chela l'marihon kemalka. The itosaf chela ugvorta kad mishabchin gvorte v'odan le v'chulu d'chalin mikame v'is tala kikare al kulhu uvgin kach. Eat l'shabcha u'ishtae b'sipur da kamad itmar kagavna da chovad ihu al barnash l'ishtae tadir kame kuchabrichu ulafar sume nisa b'cholinun nisin da abad.
Then his strength and power are increased above. By the recounting, the children of Israel give power to their master by their recounting.
Okay, so whose strength and power is increasing? I mean, this is about the relationship we have with the Creator. Let's continue. We'll see.
Like a king whose strength and power are increased when his strength is praised and he is acknowledged.
By acknowledging that everything is coming from the light of the Creator, we're strengthening the Creator's light in our world, above and here. Well, we always say, as above, so below, like this is a reflection of the light of the Creator. But we are co-creators in that. And here is the prime example of it. By becoming open channels for the light of the Creator, by transforming my desire to receive, which is a closed channel for self, into a desire to receive for the sake of sharing, which is an open channel, I strengthen the light of the Creator above and here. I'm opening up the channels. I'm opening up the doorways to manifest more of the light of the Creator in our world. Let's continue.
All fear him, and his glory rises above all of them.
And that fear is a fear of
Awe.
awe. Thank you. It's a
You
fear
know,
of
I
awe.
just
I'm
find
in, I'm in
I,
awe of this reality. That's what's increasing. The greater awe I have. Um, there's a story about Rav Zusha, who was the brother of Rav Elimelech. These were both tremendous righteous souls. And Rav Zusha is very well known. There's a million stories about him, but I heard a story this week about him that I'm going to share, and that is that he was very spiritual, incredibly spiritual soul. Rav Zusha was, and is known for that. And he was studying with a scholar who perhaps wasn't as enlightened as he was, maybe not as spiritual as he was, maybe a little bit more dogmatic in his practices. And they were studying together um, this section of blessings, of brachot, in the Talmud. And the line that they were studying, the opening line of brachot is, the line goes, Me'ematai karin et shma. And it translates as, when do we read the proclamation of oneness, the Shema Yisrael? And they were going to study together. And they read the first four words, Me'ematai karin et shma. And the other scholar looks and he's like, all of a sudden, Rav Zusha isn't there. Where'd he go? They're sitting with each other. He takes a look and he's passed out on the floor. So the scholar arouses Rav Zusha. He says, Rav Zusha, wake up, please. What's going on? What happened? You okay? He says, yeah, fine. What happened is you read that first line. And the way I read Me'ebatai Karin et Shema is not when do we read Shema, but Me'ebatai is awe. When do we have awe of the oneness of the Creator? And also, I started thinking about the awness of the Creator, and I was so overwhelmed I passed out. And so, I think it's a story really apropos of what today's connection is about here in the Zohar. It's about our ability to grow. I mean, we may not merit to reach the level of Rav Zusha in that we pass out when we think about the awesomeness of the light of the Creator, the unlimited power of the light of the Creator. It's like, for me, the visual is like I'm on the southern rim of the Grand Canyon and I'm looking across the canyon to the northern rim and I'm like scanning the landscape, and it's like the biggest freaking thing I've ever seen. There's no way to even describe it. It's awesome. The sheer size of the canyon and the both rims, but I'm looking at on the southern rim, staring at the northern rim. It's huge. It's the biggest thing I've ever seen in the physical realm. And that's just the canyon. Even more so, Kal v'chomer, even more so, the light of the Creator, it's so much, we can't fathom it.
I want to put a personal, and I thank everyone for praying for Marley Bat Sherry, and she still needs our prayers. Saturday night, when she really should have, Sunday, when they wheeled her out of the ICU, some of the nurses said they never expect her to be wheeled out of the ICU. And I've never been in awe more of the Creator than at that point. I literally said, I'm in awe of the Creator. I literally said it. I am in awe of the Creator because she's still in the hospital.
But
She's
listen,
getting,
that is
she's alive.
literally knowing the story from you, Andy. That's literally about immortality.
It's
It's
about
literally
it
it's about immortality. It's
100%.
about the power of the unlimited power of the light
And the Zohar as a
for,
tool to
for
cleave to the
healing
light.
and for
Yes.
immortality. And it's everything that we are striving to manifest for the world. I mean,
And
our
if
goal is to manifest immortality. Our goal is Bila Mavel Netzach, that death should be swallowed up.
And if anyone ever questions if this reading and studying from the Zohar is working, I can tell you that I was in total and am in total awe of the power that the light that the Zohar can bring for us to get closer to the light and let things happen in a ridiculously um counterintuitive way. That's
Right.
the wrong
I
word,
mean,
but you know what
listen,
I mean.
ultimately, we want miracles to be the norm, what we
Yes,
know as miracles. All
yes.
right, listen, we're out of time. Thank you for
I've
sharing
got
that,
like two
Andy.
more verses, but I don't have to read them.
All right, go ahead.
Okay. Therefore, it is incumbent to praise and relate the story as we have learned. Similarly, it is the duty of every person to relate before the Holy One, blessed be he, and publicize a miracle among all these miracles that he did, which we just did.
It is about, it reads like, oh, we need to tell the story and share the miracles. It's about sharing the story of the awesomeness of the Creator, of the world of abundance that is available to us, of our ability to connect to healing, our ability to remove pain and suffering from the world. That's what we're talking about. Okay, everybody.
Shabbat Shalom. Thank
Shabbat
you for
shalom.
doing
Shabbat
Thank
this,
you.
shalom.
Love
David.
you
Thank
all.
you.
Bye, guys.
Shabbat
Shabbat shalom. Thank
shalom.
you. Thanks for reading, Andy.